Okay, so let's walk to Mandela House. I see now they've got it all worked out. You have to pay over there. Before I used to come that side, and I knew Winnie Mandela, so I would come with her and then just go in, But I see they've redone it a bit. So let's see what happened to the old entrance. This used to belong to Winnie Mandela, this restaurant. I don't know if it still does. They once pulled it down. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it must still belong to her. There is her. Okay, I think you can have a look at the house. Okay, all this, especially the patio, was not there. It was just a normal four-roomed house. And I think they've extended it a bit, so it looks slightly bigger than it was. But certainly it was originally a red brick township house.
When did Nelson Mandela live here?
Yeah, in the early 50s, 51, 52, 53. Yeah. He was married to, his previous wife, ex-wife, Eve. And then I think this is where they had a divorce, and then he met Winnie Mandela.
Talk about the significance of him living here in 1951, how he was organizing, and then how he was captured in 1961.
Okay, yeah, the fact that Mandela lived here is quite significant because remember, Mandela is a country boy actually, and in fact he's a chief. Yeah, so he came here, to work in the mines, and then he got a job here. Then he studied part-time until he got his law degree. But now he imbibed the township spirit. He became an urban man. He got the new politics, and he met people like Walter Sisulu. Walter Sisulu lives somewhere that side, not far. Yeah, and then he joined the ANC here, although I think he must have joined ANC when he was still in Fort Hare, but he got the urban-based ANC here. And then also worked with the Communist Party, although at first he was very anti-communist. And then they were organizing here, and then also this is the time when the ANC split, because the Pan-Africanist Congress did not like the ANC working together with whites. They were full of the Pan-Africanism. And then they were organizing meetings here in town. 55 clipped down the Freedom Charter. Yeah, so they were going around collecting people's demands. And Mandela and Oliver Tambo, they were working as lawyers. So you are spending days dealing with people's grievances, as it were. Representing people for free, those who couldn't afford it, for pass laws, all sorts of racist laws. So he kind of imbibed the problems of the people. And I think that he's a great man because he's actually quite in touch with those problems when he was staying here. Unfortunately, when he was here, he also divorced his wife. They were estranged because he was too busy. I think in a way like me, 5 years ago, up and down with meetings, and then he met Winnie, this beautiful woman, and one thing led to another. But unfortunately, before they could really enjoy their marriage with Winnie, he was arrested.
How was he captured?
Okay, two things happened. He was first arrested, just normally for the first offense, which was the 1961 trial. There was a huge treason trial where all the ANC leaders were actually rounded up, and PAC leaders. This was after Sharpeville, when people got killed in Sharpeville. There was a massacre, 61 people were killed, I think 1960 or 61. And then there's this big trial which lasted for 3-4 years. Yeah. So Mandela was part of that crowd. And then, but after Sharpeville, there was this idea that no, the solution is armed struggle. So Mandela was one of the first to actually opt for armed struggle. So he left the country secretly, and he went to Angola, he went to Ethiopia. I think he even went to China, if I'm not mistaken, trying to get arms and so on and so forth. And then he came back. But, okay, he was an amateur, let's be frank, and then he was captured in Howick. He was doing some mission there.
Did the U.S. help with his capture?
Okay, there's a story that the CIA was actually involved because they knew where he was and they tipped the apartheid government. So this is the story we read. Yeah. In any case, once they captured him, they were also able to round up his comrades like Dennis Goldberg, Walter Sisulu, Govan Mbeki. Like I said, they were easy to capture because they didn't really know underground work. I mean, they were actually above ground campaigners who decided to go underground. And all that they wanted to do actually was to place bombs under electricity pylons, you know, to show the government that we mean business. And in fact, when they captured one, they could capture all of them because when they found one, here the names of everyone, you know, it was quite amateurish actually. So they all got caught, and then there was this big treason trial. People expected them to get the death sentence, but I think intervention by some international people, I can't remember, stopped that, and they all got life sentence, and Mandela and his comrades spent 27 years in jail in Robben Island. Yeah. And in fact, when Mandela and them were sent to Robben Island, there was a long lull struggle from 1963-64 until 1973, when the workers in Durban rose up. Can you see? Yeah, in what is now called wildcat strikes. Yeah. So there was a lull of about 10 years. But other people like Raymond Sadner, who is an ANC author, argue that, you know, the memory was there was underground work. I think he exaggerates, but because really, 73, it was just the workers. I was living in Durban, I was a kid. I remember, Usut. It was just ordinary workers fed up. And it took the bosses by surprise, off guard. And in fact, there were a lot of concessions. You know, people got the pay increase. And then 76, again, it caught everyone by surprise, including the ANC, when the students here, you know, rose up. And then after that, you know, the struggle kind of came together with the international. In a way, the ANC, Mandela, and them, they placed themselves at the head of a people's movement, okay? And in fact, it's my argument because I do some research. In fact, some authors like Jeremy Seekings, they argue the same. Because I was living somewhere that side, not far from here. We had people's organizations, street committees, student organizations, women's organizations, church organizations, all fighting against apartheid. And then when the ANC was unbanned, in fact, leading up to the unbanning, now Mandela was projected as a great hero, which he is, but now the great leader whom we must all, you know, follow. And then the ANC was presented as the only kind of party or movement which could lead us to freedom. As a result, in 1994, when there was elections, even people who supported the Pan-Africanist Congress, they voted for the ANC. But I think that's because the working class knows the importance of unity. So people just said, okay, if we all vote and support the ANC and Mandela. And when Mandela came out, he was impressive. We're all impressed. He was sharp. You know, he seemed to be sticking to the line. He came out and said, we'll nationalize the banks, we'll nationalize the factories. Okay, that never happened.